1 year ago, I had weight loss surgery. It was one of, if not the biggest decision that I've ever made in my life, and it was one that I made almost entirely for myself. For me, so that I could live the life that I wanted to live, free from the restrictions that my physical size caused, free from the lack of ability that my fitness level caused my body, free to live the life that I wanted to live without having to ask, can I physically do this? Do I fit? Is there space? I was making space for myself for the first time in my life, making myself and the way that I feel in both my body and in the world a priority. 1 year later, I have achieved so much, but I feel like I still have a heck of a journey ahead of me, and so I wanted to give myself a new challenge. So enter the Soft 75 Challenge. This is, as you might expect from the name, a 75-day challenge with 4 rules. Number 1, eat well and incorporate more nutritious food into your diet and only drink on social occasions. Rule 2, train for 45 minutes every day for 75 days. And one of these workouts a week should be active recovery. Drink 3 litres of water a day and read 10 pages of any book per day. Day 1 felt almost too easy. I was filled with motivation at the possibility of success and achievement, and this powered me through. I felt joy, positivity, and pride for myself just for giving this a go and getting started. Getting started is often, I think, the hardest part, and I predict that maintaining this feeling of motivation and dedication is what's really going to be the hardest part of this challenge. But I set out on this new journey because that's something I really want, a challenge, something to work towards, to feel achievement and satisfaction. I haven't felt a lot of that recently, and I need that to change. I need to feel fulfilled. I'm not someone who is historically able to stick to things, to keep going when something gets hard. I forget, give up, move on. But in sharing this journey with you, both the highs and the lows, I'm hoping that it gives me the motivation to continue no matter what. Day 1's workout was hard, but I did it. I may have chosen a workout video on YouTube that was just far too intense for me, but I gave myself grace and I took breaks when I needed to. I made adjustments to make it possible, and in my own way, I persevered for the whole 45 minutes. And it hurt when I walked down the stairs after this session, but I was proud. And the food that I ate on day 1 is some of my favourite meals that I've had a long time, from my daily granola that just starts off the day so well for me and is becoming a bit of a tradition, to the bowl of juicy, fresh fruit, to the chicken and goat's cheese salad that I had for lunch, and finally the super yummy, if maybe just a little bit too spicy, red Thai curry that I had for dinner. I felt nourished and satisfied and just so content with my food choices. I ended day 1 feeling proud and content, excited, but at the same time nervous about the challenge ahead. But I smashed day 1 and I felt so ready to take on the world on day 2. Reality hit me on day 2. Recently, I've been really struggling with feeling out of control with food, like it dictates every minute of my day, every thought, every action, and this is a feeling that I really didn't expect to experience again after having my surgery, but it is very much present in my life right now, and it's something that I'm working on in a variety of different ways to understand why it happens, and when it does happen, what can I do to feel more in control, to take a breath, to feel okay, to be kind to myself, and to get through it and continue. But even with this struggle, I pushed through and I did what I promised myself I would. I read my book, I drank my water, I moved my body in a way that felt good. I did have to revise my plan with water and make some adjustments to make this challenge possible and safe for myself. The original 75 Soft Challenge is that you will drink 3 litres of water a day, but that has really quickly become clear that with my stomach being physically so much smaller since my surgery, that 3 litres a day just wouldn't be good for me. I would be making myself sick and causing myself pain just to stick to a rule that was set by someone else in a very different body to mine. So I made an adjustment so that I can continue to make this challenge work for me, to still push myself but not to make myself myself ill, so I set myself the challenge to drink at least 2 litres of water a day going forward. And let me tell you, it's still a challenge for my stomach, but it's more realistic and definitely a lot less detrimental to my overall success with the wider challenge. I went to a body pump class for day 2, which I have always loved. I've always preferred strength training over cardio, but I'm trying to get a good balance between strength training, cardio, and flexibility during this challenge. I do find that I always feel more motivated to work harder, to try more, to push further when I'm in a class environment. There's something about being with a group of people all trying to do the same thing, all working hard together, that motivates me to try harder. So I'll definitely be keeping these body pump classes in my routine throughout this challenge. Day 3 filled me with so much joy and pride. I'd started to go to yoga a couple of weeks before starting this challenge, and it was something that I've always wanted to try, but I've been so nervous for so long to actually start, and I love it. It's so good for me both physically and mentally. On day 3, I felt so much progress in my yoga session. I could stretch further, I could hold for longer, do more than I'd been able to do, and I felt so much joy in this progress. To see my body be able to do more and be stronger isn't something that I've really experienced too often, and it just felt so wonderful to see this progression. I actually felt a little bit overwhelmed by this emotion, but it really has just motivated me because I want to feel this again, this pride, this joy, this strength. I loved my yoga class so much on day 3 that I went to another one on day 4. It did surprise me though, how much of an impact having a different teacher would have. The class felt so different, and it didn't resonate with me in the same way. And it was funny because the teacher actually started the class by talking about how if you're new to yoga, you might need to try a couple of different teachers to find the one that feels right for you. And it's so true. So just a little tip for you, if you're starting yoga for the first time, you may need to try some different teachers before you find the right one that fits for you. I don't film when I go to my group yoga classes. It just doesn't feel right to me. So much of this class is about giving yourself the time and the space to be present with no distractions, and so I give myself that hour just for me, not to have to think or worry about anything else. I filmed some of my at-home yoga sessions to share with you, but my yoga classes, they are just for me. I have been falling back in love with fruit and vegetables during this first week. Not all fruit and veg, I do admit, I don't love it all, but I have been relearning that fruit and vegetables are not a punishment. They're not just a tool to lose weight, but they're actually something that I can enjoy and, in fact, sometimes love. So they can be a treat and something to enjoy, and I'm really having to reframe the way that I see certain things throughout this challenge. Day 5 meant that I had to be really kind to myself and to be honest with myself about why I am doing this challenge. I had to pause my challenge for 2 days for reasons beyond my control, as I needed to drop everything to be there for someone else who needed me to take care of them. Normally, this would mean that I would give up, I would stop, be done, and see myself as a failure. But this time, I'm really trying to take a different view. Yes, I had to take a pause, but this doesn't mean it has to be the end. I will still do this challenge for 75 days, no matter what. But when something happens in life that puts everything into perspective, I'm choosing to remember why I'm doing this challenge. It isn't about me working out for 75 days in a row. It's about pushing myself and trying new things, to work hard, to give myself time for me to learn more, to grow, to develop, to give my body and mind the time and attention that it deserves. And I'm not going to let something outside of my control get in the way of that. On day 5, I was really pushing myself out of my comfort zone, and I danced. Now, I love to dance, but in a dark room where no one can see me. I don't have rhythm. I find it really hard to follow the moves, but you know what? I love it. And so I'm not going to let my insecurities stop me. I'm sharing the joy that I felt in this dance class with you. Regardless of how my body looks or how my body wobbles and shakes, I had fun, and that's what matters. Day 6 was an office day, so I took myself out for lunch. I went to Yo Sushi for the first time, and whilst the food was super yummy, I did feel a little bit overwhelmed by the setup and the amount of choice, so I might have to choose in advance next time. I tried an at-home yoga class today and I enjoyed it much more than I thought I would, but still not as much as my usual teacher. So I might do a class at home here and there, but I will be keeping up my classes with my teacher for sure. As I'm coming towards the end of my first 7 days of this challenge, I'm feeling just so proud of myself. As someone who isn't the best at following through with what I set out to do, I'm impressed with my commitment and dedication, and I'm really loving seeing what my body and mind can do and pushing it to the next stage. I'm not going to sit here and say it's easy, but I am doing it. I am still struggling with my food, though not as much as I was. I am focusing on what I can bring into my diet rather than what I can take away, rewarding myself with juicy melon and sweet apples and a few actual sweets here and there because balance. I'm trying to be less all or nothing, to know that a little bit of everything here and there in moderation is good for me, and that this balance helps me to stay in control. On day 7, I felt excitement that I'd accomplished the first week of this challenge. So I treated myself to an ice cream because, as I said, balance, and summer is swiftly ending and I wanted to enjoy an ice cream in the sun whilst I can. I then tried out a clubber size class for the first time, and whilst I found it tiring and hard in the heat, I had so much fun dancing around in the dark with glow sticks with the rest of the group. I did try and film some for you, but it was pitch black other than glow sticks, so it was a little bit hard, but just trust me when I say it was fun. I am so excited to see what the remainder of this challenge has in store for me and to share that journey with you. Thank you so much for coming along this experience with me, and I will see you next week starting with day 8 of the 75 Soft Challenge.